What's up, everybody? It's Tejal here. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Moments of Clarity. Today we're going to talk about love. I'm so excited because it's one of my favorite things to talk about, to relish in, to be a part of. And no, it's not that mushy gushy love. I'm not about to my man, y'all. Okay? So don't come on here thinking I'm about to sit up here and just talk about Jamal, because I could. But that's not what this is about. This episode of Moments of Clarity is just really reflecting on love and just like the experience of love and letting love use you. And thanks, honey. And just like, I don't know, I've never really had these conversations with people before. I usually like have them in my mind. What's up, Mariah? Hey, everybody. I usually just have them in my mind. I have them with myself. I read about it. I reflect on it. I have them with Jamal or Ashley when we talk about certain situations. But I really want to put this energy out there because I feel like it's needed, especially in the world that we're living in. Hey, everybody, what's up? Oh, y'all came through hard today, right now. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about love, y'all, and just what it looks like for us all to love each other. Yeah, so before I get into that, did I already say Mariah is going to be joining us? Mariah is going to be joining us, and the reason why I wanted Mariah to, like, talk about love is because, number one, I always see her on Twitter just, like, rambling about love. And I always relate. Like, I always just be like, dang, man. And it really, honestly, it really pushed me to have this conversation. And so I was like, who better to have this conversation with than Mariah? So, yes, period. All caps, all caps, all caps. And make sure y'all follow Mariah if you already aren't. She's going to come on. But you can see her profile and follow her for sure. Okay, so I got a few announcements, and I'm so ready because I'm excited. The first one is March 22nd is the last day for Moments of Clarity. It's the last day, y'all, and so I really want this to be a live event. So on March 22nd, I am planning on having a live session of Moments of Clarity. I will give you guys more details, but it will be at 6, same time, and it'll just be nice and high vibes. And this episode is just about the future and just like, you know, reimagining our world. You know, we've spent about how many weeks? 9 weeks? 10 weeks? I think it's 8 weeks just talking about different things from like from the death of a loved one to blending a family to like letting go and not controlling your life. And if you guys want to check out those episodes, make sure you go check them out in my little Instagram play tab. But like now it's time to recap. What are we going to take away from this series? What are we going to take away together? So March 22nd, be on the lookout. There will be merch there. All that jazz. I probably have food if I get a couple sponsors. So talk to y'all bosses for me. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? If they invest in Moments of Clarity, they'll, you know, get something back. We'll see. And then merch is on the way, y'all. Finally. I finally have time to produce some Moments of Clarity merch. You've seen me with the beautiful shirts, the beautiful teacups, coffee cups, whatever you prefer. So now I'll be able to share them with the world, and I'm excited for y'all to rep Moments of Clarity because it's not just a brand. It's like it's a movement. It's just like it's about reflecting and constantly reflecting and just being a better human being to those and for those around you. Like, we just all need love. We all need grace. We all need understanding. And yeah, that's what this episode is about. So yes, thank y'all. So yes, be on the lookout for merch coming in the next week. I promise y'all, when I get on here next week, y'all gonna be able to order. Okay? Period. All right. So I'm about to bring Mariah on, but before I do that, I also want to say, like, oh yes, Jordan, thanks, Move Different. Um, so I was looking up the definition of love, and it really wasn't sitting right with me. Like, I was just like, do I want to talk about love, or do I want to talk about something else? So the definition of love that I saw was, the definition of love is an intense, deep affection for another person. Love also means to feel this intense affection for someone. Hey, y'all who just joined. Love can also refer to a strong like for something or to like something a lot. Love has many other senses, both as a verb and a noun. And I was just like, like, that's not the kind of love I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I like was thinking, and I'm like, okay, there's this word that always, comes secondary to love, but I think this is really what I want to talk about, which is agape love. Like that infused love, that real love, that love that just don't know no like limits. And so agape love is love that God has for us. Agape love is about giving to others, sacrificing our time, energy, resources for someone else without expectations of anything in return. Agape love is about responding calmly when faced with difficulties, sacrificing without complaining, and waiting patiently. This type of love is selfless and is for the preservation of relationships and the development of another person. So when I think about love, or agape love, I think about like the grace that comes with it and loving people and being understanding. And a big part of me like wanting to love so hard comes from, growing up and feeling like I didn't have agape love and feeling like, every time I made a mistake, there would be no forgiveness. I'm 31 years old and I still feel like I'm just gonna be frank, I still feel like my parents, kind of hold me to mistakes I made as a child, or like there's no forgiveness, there's no grace, there's no understanding. And so I feel like they say like the kind of environment that you were raised in truly dictates, who you become, whether you go into this space of like being an extra lover because you don't want anyone to feel the pain that you felt, or you become the same person that you've experienced because you just adapt, the things that you've experienced. And I feel like my upbringing like really forced me to just really be like this person that just really wanted to love and give people love. And so I'm learning a lot about like not being taken advantage of. I feel like over the past 2 years, yes, you overcompensate. I felt like the past 2 years before this past year, I would overcompensate. Like people would treat me so dirty, and like there would be clear signs that I needed to set boundaries. But I'm like, no, I want to live in love. I want to be a person of love. I want to be an instrument of love. And I wouldn't set those boundaries. And so I feel very strong in like who I'm becoming as far as like moving in love, but also realizing like I got to keep you at a distance. Like I can love you from afar. Love to me looks like falling out with someone and just like leaving it be, not hating on them. If someone brings them up in a meeting or something, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm not blocking their blessings. And I feel like, that's where a lot of us kind of like, I don't know, not fall short, because that I don't want to judge. But that's where a lot of us kind of like, I don't know. But anyways, I love my black people. Okay, boundaries. All right, I'm about to bring Mariah on because I'm just like so curious. All right, let me see. I've done this so many times. Also, y'all already know the rules. Feel free to come up if you feel led. Make comments. This is not the Tejal Show. This is Moments of Clarity. Transparency builds community, and we are all a community. So everyone is invited. So just, request and say your piece in the comments. Don't be quiet now. We got the livest audience. Mariah. And we're going to get started. Hey, Mo.
Hey.
Hey, you ready to use that throat shot for today?
Okay. Listen. I am. How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel good. I took a little nap, which is why I like.
Yeah. I slept all morning, so
Hey,
I feel
hey,
you.
you didn't have to go to work today?
I called off. Yeah, I was like, I'm too stiff from that collision. My shoulders are like, not having it right now. So
Yeah. No, I feel that. I'm proud of you. You better that
it
time.
was hard
Mhm.
too to like, hey, I'm not feeling well. Let me not come in. That was actually very difficult, but I was like, I gotta do what's best for me. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, y'all, this is Mariah. If you don't know, she's an artist. I feel like activist, a woman, a daughter, all of that. What other things like would you say?
you named it all. You said daughter. I love it. Sister. I am a sister. I would say that. A lover. Yeah, a lover. I'm a lover girl for sure. Sorry, songwriter, artist, all that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely are a lover. That's why I was so happy to have you on here because I was just
yeah.
like, I just feel like every time you say something, I was just like, oh my God, like I feel this exact same way. So I want to know, like, where did this energy come from? Did it always exist in you, this energy to just love and like let love?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know when I started calling myself a love child, but it was as a result of my parents separating and then coming back together twice actually, and then the last last time they came back together, they had me, and it almost gave that energy like of it was love that brought them back. It was them setting their differences aside to the point of agape love, right? Like that unconditional energy that they have for each other. Like that's what brought them back together. So I think just from like an early age, it just felt right to consider myself a love child. Also, I would also consider myself an anomaly in my family, like my immediate family, the home that I grew up in.
Yeah.
um, I did not it was a lot of conflict in the home, a lot of arguments in the home, and I would hate it. I'm just like it's in the same energy, like why can't we just all love? Why do we have to be this way towards each other? And every time there was an argument, um you know, I was such an artistic kid. I would always create cards. Like that was how I would show love at a young age. Whenever my brother would be getting in trouble with his grades and he would, have, very difficult conflict with my father, because they were definitely, how do I say this? Like the whoopings were real, okay, in the house. So like whenever that would happen in the home, like I would literally create my brother a card because telling him how much I loved him, how much I cared for him, the affection that I had for him in that moment because I could feel his pain literally. So it's like stuff like that would be happening and I would just try to figure out how I could show up in love. And yeah, so
That's so funny. I had such a different experience. My home life caused me to be really mean. And when I was like growing up, I was just really mean to people and I would isolate people and be cold. I would always find a group of people to like, flock with and like be just like this energy of nastiness, but it was really how I was being treated at home. And so uh,
mm,
when I got older, I lost like one of my best friends. Like we had been best friends since childhood. And I always shout her out, Sierra, like Sierra Dream. She was my childhood best friend. And
oh
one
wow.
day she was just like, girl, I'm not with this energy. Like, I can't do this anymore. And that
Mm,
really like woke me up. Like, damn, like, like this is not right. And I kind of transitioned and over time, I knew I was hurt, but I didn't know that, and it wasn't until I was older until I processed it and like started looking at my relationships. I was like, damn, like I've been showing up as this person, but I just really want to love.
mm,
And so then I went into like this extremeness of loving, just like, I don't care what happens. I'm going to love. I'm going to be accepting. I'm not going to judge. I'm going to have grace. And
mm.
then had to reel it back like, okay, I need boundaries. Like, so I think that that's very interesting. I love how you like call yourself like a lover, a love child. I think that's so
Yeah.
cool. So how did you get your definition of love? Like when you understand like that's the source that you want to pull from, how did you define it and where did you get your definition from?
I think I just got the definition from Bell Hooks. I think I more so was just kind of just going with the flow of what felt right, which I think is powerful, right? Like that's the power of the intuition of just like feeling like this feels good. This feels good when I show up this way to this person. I may not be able to put the words to it, or I may not even necessarily even call it love in the moment, but this just feels right. Like even just as much as being a kid, making those cards or whatever. So I think I'm still like, learning about it and really like calling it into my life so that I can walk in it daily. So I would say bell hooks is probably where I got words to actually define love. Because I felt the same way when I would Google, I always Google the definition of words. And when I Google love, I'm like, what kind of tomfoolery is this? This don't feel right. And it was centering romantic love. It wasn't necessarily centering community love, community care, how we show up for the people that we say that we love. Like it wasn't really like speaking to that. So I think I'm just I'm in a more confident place of committing myself to love. Boundaries too, but that's just where I'm at now. It's just like now I'm owning it. Now I'm like embodying it and trying to like in everything that I do. And not just some like utopian love or like some woo-woo love, right? But like the real deal, for real.
Love feels good. I think it grants freedom, but I also think it grants pain sometimes. Like, especially because one thing that you said in the reel that we created, if y'all want to watch that, but one thing that you said, one of the characteristics was truth. And with that, I thought about accountability. And like, just like, I love the people around me so much. I'm gonna hold them accountable. I love community so much.
Right.
I'm gonna hold us all accountable, and I'm gonna be open to accountability. But sometimes it can ostracize you because people just really don't understand like that piece. I feel like sometimes I feel like when I'm moving love, I'm misunderstood.
I feel you. I think to what you're talking about too is like constructive struggle and pain as it relates to love. And truth is hard. Like truth is heavy sometimes. But we need it because that's where the accountability comes from. So yeah, I feel you. And people sometimes can kind of like take it different ways as far as like, well, I'm telling you the truth. Not because I want to hurt you or not because I want to like hate on you, but I'm telling you the truth because I love you. And like, it's hard out here. Like the truth is hard sometimes, but we need it. We need it to grow. So yeah, that's definitely a real aspect of it is that constructive struggle and pain that comes with it. Not necessarily suffering, but you're going to struggle a little bit.
I like what you said about the constructive struggle and pain because I think that's where I like really learned about love and boundaries was like in work with community.
Yeah.
Because you have so many different people who have been through so many different things and who have so many definitions of how somebody should show up. And so I really had to learn how to like put my ego aside. And that's kind of where love stepped in for me and where, love is still stepping in, you know what I'm saying? But like, because it's like, okay, we all hurt. I really want to get this work done. I really love us. I really love our children. So I'm just going to have to like move in love. Like, Lord, please make me an instrument. Cause like, this is what this is going to call. Like, this is what this is going to call for. So I think it was like, I don't think it might've been, I mean, the flesh version of me is like, but like the spiritual version of me is like, no, like this is what it requires. It's kind of like not a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of self. It really is.
You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice ego for humility, right? Like, what are you willing to give up in order to receive and to create? As far as the world that we want to live in when it comes to doing this work together.
Yeah. So like what's your thoughts about love and like the world? Like, do you feel like love is the answer? Like, what are your thoughts?
I do. I do think that love is our collective destiny. And I get that from just sitting at the park, sitting outside, being in nature, and just seeing how the nature operates. That's love in its purest form, in my opinion. That's where I landed probably some months ago. And I was like, damn, the way these trees just like literally give us oxygen, literally give us air. Mm-hmm. Is that not love? That's care in real time, in nature. Mm-hmm. Just watching how birds interact. I love nature. So like just watching how like birds interact and like how let me think. Like when there's a duck and they have like the little baby ducks and they're like trying to like cross the street and like there's this care that the mama duck has for her babies. Like I just see it every day in nature. So yes, short answer, I do think love is the answer. And yeah, I think in the definition that we're kind of working with, which is from Bell Hooks, there are boundaries in there, I think, in my opinion. I think that in order to have open communication, to have this care or whatever, there is this very real reality that the love that you're trying to give, like people have to be open to receiving it, first of all. So that's a boundary in itself. We got to know whether or not somebody is open to even receiving this care. Did I even ask you? You know, like, did I ask you for your care, your concern, your truth, your honesty? Like, that's a boundary in itself. So, like I said, I think the definition that we've been working with has just been all misconstrued by what we see on TV, like the programming, right? But yeah, so I do think love is the answer. I truly.
Okay. I like that. We got some comments. I don't want to leave my people out. We got lover, not a fighter. Mariah is a soldier. Anomaly. Oh, the real is fire. Period. Thank you. Truth can't hurt. Love is a verb. Collective destiny. Clap it up one time for nature. All right, drink champs. And then love is so vulnerable. It really is. It really is. I really feel like an open, like I just feel like I don't have any flesh sometimes. Like I just feel like just open, you know? So that's something that I kind of struggle with. I was gonna ask something. Damn, I forgot. Oh, what book are you reading? What Bell Hooks book are you reading?
It's this one right here. I got it next to me. All About Love. Yes. And then also like in her, like in the beginning of her defining what love is, she refers to this book, and I actually got this book first a long time ago. It's called The Art of Loving by, I might butcher his name, Eric from real good. But it refers to him too. So those are the two books that I've been just sitting with probably for like the last like 3 years.
There's this book. Hold on, here I come. 2 seconds. Oh, no. Never mind. It's not the same. But it did. I feel like the spirit of intimacy taught me a lot about like love too. Like that really started I would say my true journey with love was the spirit of intimacy. Guys, man, I don't know how to Zabama Soulmate. Yeah. Yeah, check that out. But that's the book that really jump started my true relationship with love. So I think that my thoughts is like, number one, do you guys have any questions about this conversation that we're having? And then if you want to come up, please come up and share. Do you have a struggle with like setting boundaries? Do you have a struggle with like living in love? Do you want to live in love? We shouldn't live in love, like, why do you feel that way? Like, I definitely want to have a conversation around love. The biggest reason why I chose this topic is because I definitely want to see a world where we like give each other more grace and we operate in a space of love. Can you talk about a time where, like, I don't know, maybe you had to show up in love and you didn't want to, or, you know?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm in a couple of those moments now. It makes me think about what my mom would always say: if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing nice at all, or don't say nothing at all. And that's kind of like, I'm trying to balance that. But hmm I would say right now, I feel like I'm in a space where if I say I'm committed to love, then no matter these like weird feelings that I'm having towards, someone that I was once close with, no matter those feelings, like how am I still like creating boundaries for myself, but still like giving off the frequency of love. I don't want to force it either, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. With a couple people, you know, I think I'm also just like reevaluating the people that I keep closest to me, because love requires so much.
Yes.
Like I even my circle has gotten a little bit smaller. Like the people that I even consider, I guess I don't even like the word best friend anymore, but like just people that I consider to be my family. Like, that's a big title, or that's a big label. So like I'm having to just like really condense, that group, because I want to show up more fully, or at least like right now in this time of my life, I want to be able to just give more to those relationships. So it's like, how do I give more to those relationships that I want to give more to, but then also still show love to people that, I'm not necessarily like fucking with, to be quite frank. Like, like that's just, how it is. So
I like that. I love that. I feel like, man, I'm in the same space. It takes so much intentionality and energy to like walk in that space. And so I've become a lot more selective, just like about the space, because not everybody is on that same page too. Not everybody is going to get it, and not everybody is going to invest in that and or be that. Like, I don't want to sit around in circles talking shit about people. Like, that's just not the energy.
right.
I love that. I think the hardest thing for me right now, I'm like really struggling with a certain relationship. And it's caused me to set some really hard boundaries of like not even letting these people into my life. And so I really like what you said about like emitting love as a frequency, because I've been struggling. Like, am I really showing up in love by like blocking these niggas? But it's like, yes, I am. Like, I love myself.
Right.
And then like, it's like, if y'all don't love me, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's about that boundary thing. But I like the idea, just like sending love as a frequency, like, cause I was sending hate for real. I ain't gonna lie.
You like that? We're human. Yeah. That's some real stuff. Like we're still flesh. Like sometimes the flesh is weak. So I totally feel you on that. I totally feel that. Yeah.
Then it said, keep the circle tight. Yes, I think that's, man, I think it's important, because I don't know, I think it's important, but part of me also feels like it's isolating, because some people don't have a circle. It's like, I don't know, like, so I just really try to like keep my circle tight, but also like, leave room for like any strays that not strays, that's messed up, but like anybody, like, God is like, Tejal, I need you to be a part of their journey. And whether it's like seasonal or long term, most of them have been really seasonal. I'm just really obedient to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that comes with knowing who's supposed to be in your life for that season, however many seasons they're supposed to be there. Like, don't overstay your welcome, or don't let them overstay their welcome. Kind of just go with the flow and be okay with the change to us and the strays as well.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
One thing that you said when you were talking about nature, I was like really like picturing myself wherever the hell you were. And nature is reciprocal. Like, plants give us oxygen, we give carbon dioxide and a whole bunch of other shit that's pissing me off. But like with animals in nature, it's very reciprocal. Even when things die, they go back into the soil and give it nurture or nurture it. And so I think that's one thing that really helps me. It's like when it's reciprocal, like, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's because I feel like I'm also in a place of like really learning what true community care is right now, like love in community versus like always trying to get love from like a romantic partner. But that's literally what that is in community, is like you we just like interdependence. That's the word. It's us depending on each other. We need each other. We literally need people. And it's okay to admit that, like we need each other. So it's like you tap into your gifts and your reservoir of love, and you give and they do the same. And we just have this like ongoing cycle of abundance, right? Like this just, you know, beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. It's like its own ecosystem. Love really is its own ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, love that. I wonder why it's so difficult for the world to grasp that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is why is it so easy? Why is it so hard for us to all, like, you know, want this kind of energy?
Society really, at least how we've been doing it, has shifted from that interdependence into being individualistic and praising that, you know, being an individual. And that can be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
I always think about just ancient communities and how they show up for each other. Everybody's not doing the same thing because everybody's gifts are different. So yeah, it's really just like our society kind of just like fucked us up in the head, for real. Like, truly.
I'm about to read these comments. You nailed it. Exactly. Preach. Oh, Strays as well. We read that one. Oh, lack of trust. There is a lack of trust.
That's a good one, and too. Yeah.
One of the components of love that you named from Bell Hooks, right? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's difficult to grasp because we've been programmed to think differently. Humans are creatures, plenty of factual evidence to show how much we rely on each other.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. And that's what I'm getting back to too. Like, it's just trying to figure out, how do I allow people to see me when I'm just distraught? Mm-hmm. You know, because I mean, I could probably get myself up out of that hole or that like emotional turmoil, but it's easier when I have somebody else to hug or to hold me, you know, and to speak life back into me. So shout out to you. I still hold that prayer very close to me. So like,
yes, see, that's just like, that's what happens when you like just want to be an instrument. Like, Mariah, I don't really pray for my friends like that. I pray for them behind their back, but like my prayers are like my best friend, right, or like somebody is like you know, really like in that space. But like when we were texting, I was just like, I don't know. Like I saw a tweet or two. I'm just like, nah, let me just, I don't know. Like I just feel this energy. Mm-hmm. Like I appreciate that. And I appreciate you, like, just letting me, like, you know, allowing me to be in that space with you.
Yeah.
We've allowed money to separate when it could unite. Yes, yes. And y'all out here talking. Y'all can join if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Hop up on this live. Let the beautiful people see your face. Yeah. So was there any other, like, you said something like when we were texting, you just had a lot to say, I think. Is there anything like that you wanted to discuss overall? Or the goal of this conversation is just to really create a better world. Like, is there something that we're missing?
I was actually going to ask you what you think about unconditional love. I feel like agape is similar to that, but what do you think about that? Because people seem like they struggle with that heavy, at least on Twitter.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good question. I've been seeing those debates. Unconditional love is a crazy thought. And I think people think unconditional love is like stay with your partner no matter what. That's unconditional love. And it's like, no, unconditional love is like, you know, giving grace, giving chances. But then if there's like these things that are harming me and that are hurting me, I have to separate myself. And unconditional love is loving you, sending those positive love vibrations. But like, I feel like people don't understand. I think people only understand unconditional love to the physical form, and not like the energy that you spoke about is like, you know, I have these thoughts and these feelings, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna still send you love. You know, like you have to. I feel like you have to love yourself first somehow before you can even emit that kind of energy to other people, because when you're upset with yourself, it's gonna show. Like, I used to be so jealous of people. And then I was like, why? Why am I so jealous? And it was because I didn't believe in myself. So when I saw someone else believing in them, it triggered me. Like, you're not believing in yourself. And instead of like reflecting, it was like hate. It was the mirror. I saw what I couldn't do, you know?
I love that you brought up the fact that it starts with yourself first. When it comes to unconditional love. I had wrote some notes about that. I was just basically saying like I've learned to know love at some of its greatest moments when I've like, I call it returning back home to myself. Like, and you know, giving myself all the things that I need in order to be my most like you know, thriving and vibrant self.
Yeah.
And in turn though, like there is this like reckoning that you have to go through when really seeing yourself. It can be difficult to really just sit with yourself and to just like deal with all of who you really are. It can be messy. And but then in that space, in that moment, that's when you know real forgiveness of yourself. That's when you know real care, caring of yourself, like the things you put in your body, how you're treating your body. It's with your, it starts at home. Everything always starts at home. So I love that. And I think that that's how you really know unconditional love, because we make mistakes. We're gonna fuck up. But that mean I stop fucking with myself because I made a mistake yesterday? No, I'm still alive. I still have breath in my body, which means I still have purpose. So, okay, I'm gonna let it go, or I'm gonna like learn from whatever mistake that was and continue to love myself and move forward. So I love that. I love that.
I like what you said about mistakes. Because I feel like, I just feel like I've had a ton of friendships where, like, the moment I didn't play a role that my friend wanted me to play, that I didn't know anything of, like, all of a sudden, shit is weird.
Yeah.
We not talking. All of a sudden, I'm cut off, and it's like, I love you. Like, I love my friends. Me and my best friend Ashley were talking about this. Like, most girls have like daddy issues, and that show up in their relationships. I have really bad like mom issues, and that shows up in my friendships. And so like, it's like, what did I do? Or like, but I say all that to say, like, I feel like in friendships, love is there. And a lot of times I felt the lack of grace, like the lack of room to make mistakes. And that's why I love transparency, because I love when people come up to me like, girl, you did this and I didn't appreciate that. And it's like, okay, my bad, girl. I didn't know, because that's not how I operate. But I see you, I love you, and I love this relationship. So if that doesn't, you know, cross any of my boundaries, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That grace, that's real. Yeah. I think I'm also I'm still trying to figure that out as far as like speaking up, which is why my hair is blue. You know, like, oh, you had me fucked up here, but I still love you. But let me also tell you how I really feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's hard. And I feel like I really love communicating through writing. Like, I love writing a letter. I love sending a text.
Okay.
But people are like, why would we have this conversation through text message? Or like, why would we have this conversation through a letter? And it's like, because it's really hard for me to like be verbal. And so I feel like we just have to be open to people's different avenues of communication, and then like, I don't know, go from there. I don't know. That's what helped me be more open. Is like, I don't know, niggas. I like to communicate through text message and writing. So that's how I'm gonna communicate. Like, so yeah, that's what made me think of that.
Yeah.
We got some comments. What's up, everybody that just joined? Just a reminder, you can be a part of this conversation. Just request to be on live. We got about 10 more minutes, then we're gonna wrap it up. True love does not betray. I don't know. Like, I want to like dive deeper into that. I feel like it depends on like the definition of betrayal, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, if it was like malicious and intentional versus I really slipped up. That's where I'm landing with that. It's kind of just like it all boils down to intention. Yeah. It's that you don't get to choose the impact of your intention, but you know, were you being malicious, or were you just?
I think that's my line too. Like, I don't know. But then some people really take advantage of that. Like, I had a friend that was just like, they knew I was like an open heart person, and they like really took advantage of that. And so like, that's another space where I learned boundaries. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are quick to judge someone by who they were at their worst, and not allowing for human imperfection to take place makes unconditional love hard for many. Yeah, that's true, baby. You can make not whatever mistakes, but you know, I got grace for you, honey. Most problems stem from either a failed relationship with mom or dad. Yeah. Ooh, child, you preaching. Yeah. Broken kids with years of trauma behind them. Yeah. What Happened to You is a great read. Ooh, I love that. What's up, everybody? Have you ever read What Happened to You, Mariah?
No. Who wrote that?
Who wrote that, Jazz? I actually just heard somebody mention that book.
Let me take. Will my phone act funny if I take a screenshot? Okay.
Okay. So we have the agape love. Yeah, like when I looked at the definition, I was like, I don't want to talk about. It just felt so like, it felt so surface. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should have named this agape, because but I do love the word love. Like, I do feel like it's definitely a vibe. So like, when did you know that you were like operating in love? Like, how do you know? Like, what are some instances that you have to like really show up in that space that you feel good about? Like, you know, we talked about.
How do I know when I'm operating in love? Mm-hmm. It's just a feeling. Mm-hmm. I think that's, oh man, it's just a feeling like, okay, yeah, no, I did good. and it's not only like external validation. It's because the other person, like, I'm looking at their face, I'm looking at, you know, just their body language, and in response to maybe something that I said or did or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that yeah, it's just, you just kind of know. There's just this inner knowing, like, okay, no, this is good.
I think my favorite part right now about this journey is like when I'm challenged. Like, I feel like I don't know who. Maybe it's the devil, maybe it's whoever. They'd be like, you really want to live this life? All right, let's see. Let's see. Like when I was in Atlanta, I like fell out with a friend, and like she was supposed to come to the event that I was at, and I'm like, oh, like, that's fine with me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll even make up. Like, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I feel like when people get in those situations, it's like, ew, they're coming, like, they better not be in my space. Like, I don't know. And so she ended up like canceling because she found out I was gonna be there. And I don't know, I don't know, that was a really affirming moment for me, because it was just like, I don't know, I don't operate like that, and you didn't have to operate like that, you know. There was $1 million people there. Like, now you missed out on the bag because like we ain't moving love. You know what I'm saying? And it was really affirming to me, like, okay, like, I don't know. This is the energy I want to have. And my friend was like really like, you know, not challenging my thoughts, but I felt like it was like, but you shouldn't move that way in a sense. And it's like, no, but I really want to move this way. Like, this is the energy that I want to have, and that's just what it is.
It's like protecting your peace. It sounds like you gotta know when that's okay. I had seen somewhere though too that you gotta know the balance between like, you know, being or acting from like your higher self, right? This Christ consciousness or whatever, like this just very high level, like woo, like I'm taking the higher path versus cussing something. And that's the problem I have, because I'm just like always wanting to like move in love or whatever. But then sometimes it's like, how do I like tell you the truth, not cuss you out, but like really stand on my boundaries and like let you know a little bit about yourself too. There's this balance that I'm trying to strike. But I feel that. I totally feel that. Like that was a moment of just like, yeah, I see how you moving. Very, very real. And but I'm not gonna match that energy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move.
The old me would have matched it. I would have got on Twitter, started subtweeting, he sent a text, but I was just like,
yeah,
it's not worth it. And I feel like that just gives, like I said earlier, love just grants so much freedom. Like even in the city, I don't have any ill feelings with anybody, so I can walk into any room and feel like a fresh air, feel free.
yeah.
And I feel like when you love, when you move and you're an instrument, it just leads you. It leads the way. It makes room for you. It makes room for other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see these comments. Y'all going in, but y'all are not joining. Okay. Bruce D. Perry made the book, and Oprah. I like that. Friendship is the basis for relationships, which is most often neglected. Yes, I feel like I've just had so many relationships where my friends could care less about like our relationship, but they definitely cared about that like relationship that wasn't too good. I never understood that, but it's also a different situation. Ashley said Bruce Perry is a great author. If men and women were friends and lovers rather than lovers and romantic partners, relationships would work.
I agree. I think I agree. That's where I landed recently when it comes to romantic love. That's the only way I want to move into a relationship. Are we friends? Do I even really like you? Do you really like me? You know, I feel that. Oof.
Yeah, I think friendship is so important. I don't think that's like, yeah, I think that's so important. Friendship is the missing key. Yes. I struggle with moving in love because I don't feel like people deserve that. I don't have to move in hate, but I ain't gonna be love either. Is that a boundary? Come on here and talk about
That's very real. That is real. I appreciate that transparency right there.
Yeah,
That's
love it. Yeah, that's why I'm like, if y'all not with the lovey-dovey stuff, like, please say something. Because, like, this is like, not a zone where it's like, this is what you got to be about. Definitely just a conversation. Mm-hmm.
I will, though. I do. Hold on. There is another to what Ashley was saying. Damn it.
Ashley's coming on.
Oh, is she? Okay, cool. I really want to read this quick quote from Bell Hooks, because to my point of just like feeling like love is our collective destiny. Okay, so to that point, I feel like you can still tell somebody off in love. Real talk. She said, when we understand love as the will to nurture our own and another spiritual growth, it becomes clear that we cannot claim to love if we are hurtful and abusive. And not saying that like you saying that you want to be hurtful.
Yeah.
But like even to that definition, like nurturing other people's spiritual growth can mean calling them out on their bullshit, like, and saying it to their face, like telling them the truth.
Yeah. That's my version of love. I like that one. But like I think of it like when I'm listening to this conversation, I was at the nail salon, y'all. That's why I couldn't participate as much as I wanted to. But this conversation was really good. But when I think about like moving in love, like sometimes I think about like my workplace, and I'm just like, nah,
Valid.
sorry, I don't have it for you. I
That's
don't.
valid.
But they
Mm-hmm.
also say harmful things. Like sometimes the people around you are knowingly harmful and unknowingly harmful. It doesn't provide safety. I feel from the stories that
Yeah,
they, it's not like you're just like F these people. It's like they do things that mess with your internal system that
yeah,
automatically put up that boundary. I think that is a boundary for you.
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like that's where my center is. Like my centering is I'm gonna fill this out first. I'm not giving away nothing. And then like once those other parts come in, like trusting, safety, like when those other parts come in, then I can be like, oh, okay, but unfortunately that's still like a smaller group of people. Like I don't know. I just, maybe that's an issue I need to take up with a therapist. But I'm just, I don't want to move that way. I feel like it's not safe. I feel like it is too vulnerable for
Yeah.
me.
It's a balance. I think you're speaking to self-preservation, and that's real, especially as women. Whew. Okay, we have to self-preserve in order to stay alive. So,
Yeah.
and the quote that I'm thinking about is not giving your pearls away to pigs. So that's real, to the point of just like not giving away all of the your preciousness, your energy, like
Yeah.
that you know are harmful, and that's real. Like a lot of workplaces do not have a culture of safety. Why? Well, because of the society we live in. Like our
Yeah.
society is not built on love. It's not built on that shit. So that's very real. That's very real.
Oh, thanks for sharing,
Uh,
Ashley.
Yeah.
no problem. Also, I just got that Bell Hooks book like 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Right.
Because a lot.
That's what I heard. Like it takes people like years to read it. And it's such a small book.
Yeah, I still have one and a half chapter left, and I haven't finished it. It's probably been a year. I still
Yep,
have,
that's what I
yeah.
heard.
Yep.
All right, we got one more person that wants to come up. I'm gonna bring Nick up. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, the realist. So while we wait, falling in love is easy. Falling in friendship is much harder. Hey, friend. Friendship versus trauma bonding is important too. Mm.
Ooh. I know that.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
oh my God, trauma bonding. Work drama is the worst. It is. Trying to get this shit done, people. Right? I don't know what that comment was too, but I'm bringing you on, Nick. You can tell us. Hey, everybody that just joined. We about to wrap it up, but definitely thank you for coming. We're having a really great conversation about love. And here is Nick. What's up, Nick?
Hola.
hold on.
How are we doing?
We good. How are you?
Trying to be warm in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Don't look too
It looks nice, though.
don't look too warm, huh?
No.
It ain't that warm.
What are your
But
thoughts
not
about?
that warm in Cali either, from what I gather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I've never been on a live whatever we're doing here. So you'll have to forgive me. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. And I'm probably not. And I meant to drop the F. I have no idea.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm not here to. I'm here to let you talk.
Oh, okay. We got a live audience.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, you can help us close it out. At the end of the day, what do y'all want to like say about love? What do you want to leave people with?
Well, I learned one thing in California, and I learned it from a guy who learned it from women in Cali, and that without friendship, you're fucked.
Mm.
Yeah, you can get naked all day long with whoever you want. If you don't have a friend after you're naked, you are fucked. They don't care about you, and you don't care about them. Even if you care about them, if they're not your friend, you're fucked. And either way, it can go either way. Man, woman, child, don't matter. If you don't have that bond after you're naked, goodbye. And they're not even really, and if they're not your friend and you're getting down, they're not even really there. They're kind of like doing their own thing, and you're there too. And nah. I'm 42 though. I've done everything well, and I've done it terribly too. And I'm trying not to do it terribly anymore. Good luck.
Nick, did you used to live in San Diego?
I mean? Pardon?
Did you used to live in San Diego?
Nah, Dogtown.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's some real shit.
Hey, anything good that I learned in Dogtown. They know
Mo,
what they're doing.
my eyes are burning. Mo, what's your last say about love?
I'm like over here looking at my notes. I feel like we touched on everything I wrote about, and I didn't even look at my notebook. That's so great.
You're channeling it. You know what you're talking about. You don't need that note.
Yeah, I should.
Yep.
I came on here too. Well, I mean, love is what love does. I do these things because I care. So that is kind of like where I'm ending it, is that love is a verb. You have to show it. You don't just say it. You do it.
Be a friend. In the beginning, when you're before you know them, when you're getting down, and then after you're done, and you're not chilling no more like that, be cool. If you're not cool, get the fuck out.
That was for me.
If you're not cool, get the fuck out.
I needed that.
Like Dogtown. Like, dude, if you're not cool in Dogtown, get the fuck out of Dogtown.
Yes.
But, that ain't me. That, I learned that down there. Ain't got,
So the audience.
What are you going to do?
Thank you, Nick. So the audience says, I feel the way you perceive love is also often based on intentions, and love is what love does. Period.
Don't fucking betray if you can't help it.
Yeah.
If you can help it, don't do it. If you can't help it, well, have a good apology in the morning.
Okay. And I would say, pretty much, yeah, love is a verb, and I just want to be a space for people, and I don't know, I just want God to use me. That's it. I just want to be an instrument.
For real.
That means.
For real.
Yeah, my eyes are burning.
Like, oh shoot. That's the end.
Hi y'all. We'll catch you later. Thank you for joining. See you next week.